Hi everybody, how are you doing today? I've decided to do a little vlog today. I don't get to do them as much as I used to. Just time consuming as well as I always like to do vlogs that have lesson meetings and everything else. But there was a wonderful one just the other day by Dr. Will talking about what is your niche. I've called it niche all these years, but actually, what is it that what is the niche that really drives what you do? What is it that part on? And I mean, as educators, teachers, administrators, I mean, we always have a different ones. I mean, some say, mine's psychology, mine is, sports. I have a math teacher. She's very good at math, but she said herself coaching and sports are her biggest, niche in life and everything. So the question was more of like mine. And the truth is, I have a little story to tell. Yes, I know. I'm telling a story. Big shock here. But anywhoosies. So, it's very interesting. The last month's been pretty crazy in my life, but last couple weeks have been much. Is my wife has epilepsy. She had a seizure after almost 3 months, and she just had one the other day and everything. I mean, no rhyme or reason, but it comes. And people always ask me, how do I deal with that, because they know some days are very easy and some days are extremely hard, just like any marriage. They even say right there in the vows, in sickness and health, for better or for worse. And some people ask me, seems you always are on the worst case, Ryan. You're always dealing with finances, you're dealing with your wife's health problems and other ones that you just don't seem to be able to really, something I could never handle, they said. And I've always said it's the new normal. And people look at me like, the new normal, what is that? Well, normal is kind of, what is the stage in life? Some people say my normal is I get up, I kiss the kids, goodbye, and the wife goodbye, I go to work, I come home, I pay the bills, we go have dinner, wash, rinse, repeat. Some days are crazy, some days are peaceful and relaxing, and I'm going to go mow the lawn. That's their normal. And mine has always been, what is that new normal now? And the one is education. My biggest niche in life, especially in education, is I do love to tell stories. I always have. I mean, I have an undergraduate in theater. I did do community theater for several years. I actually did TV pilots. I've been extras in movies. I never, unfortunately, made it. I did have a lot of classmates who have made it, been on TV shows, Boston Legal, Private Practice, have made it into The Good Wife. Some have done successful web series that are huge online and YouTube. And people always looked at me like, so I guess if you would have, left and everything else, that you would have been a normal life as that. And I said, you know what? For them, that is. And for me, this is the new normal. And that's it. It's with, my wife with epilepsy. It's me, struggling, scraping by and everything else, being a father, husband, and an educator in that order and everything. But what the biggest thing is, what I'm trying to get to the point is about that niche, is what is the new normal? And the thing is, this is the new normal. I mean, no, not an iPhone, not a Samsung Galaxy 6, but it's technology and education. And it's so interesting how so many people want to be resistant or want to jump on the bandwagon for something, saying that, that is, that's just how things are. That's what's popular. It's normal. But, you go back, 20 years, 30, 40 years, and some people will say, well, that wasn't normal. That was brand new and scary, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't want to work on it. And the truth is, the new normal is what that is. I mean, here's an example. Smensels. I just got one of these from one of my grade schoolers for part of the student council fundraising. I mean, it's a pencil that smells like grape soda. I love grape soda. I mean, this is something that, people would have looked at and say, who wants to buy something that smells like a fruit for pencils? And who wants to waste that money? Now they're very common. Now they're very normal and everything else. I mean, they're not practically new, but they're not old either. I mean, it's like once upon a time when they did Legos, who's going to want to spend up the ling? Now we got ones that are collectible merchandises, like this little Havoc figurine, which is, some people will spend, fine thing for $8, but yet they'll go online as a rarity and sell for $40, $50. I mean, and people will go for these. I mean, that itself is the new normal. But what I'm trying to get the point is, technology in the classroom is very normal now. And there are many people who just do not want to go there. They say, it's distracting, it's working, and all that. And this isn't coming from teachers that have been in the field 30, 40 years. I worked with many professors who said themselves, when I was teaching third grade, and they say going back 15 years ago, we do computer programs, and that was the normal. And now the normal is, you have it on right at your fingertips. I mean, many people said, who's going to want the internet or something right there on a phone? And now we got watches that you can do that too. It's the new normal. I mean, it's already becoming in, and I agree. It can get expensive. It can get to a point, and it changes how people think. And as many people know, a lot of people don't like change because it's foreign. It doesn't make sense to them, and they're going to put their foot in the sand and say, that's it. I'm not moving from this spot. I mean, and that's it. I mean, I have 3 new teachers, who've only been teaching really 2 years, going into year 3, and they don't like doing that with an iPad. They don't like using Google Apps. I mean, they'll go as far as Edmodo because they understand the online because they did, but they've said themselves they don't like doing technology in the classroom, and they didn't like when they were doing it in their studies. So it ends up becoming to the point to where it's not normal for them, even though it's the new normal for students and for people. And in 10 years, they're probably going to end up saying, well, no, that is the new normal, and now it's this, and I don't like this. I want to go back to the days where I had a simple iPad and Edmodo and everything. Now I have to do this and do instant messaging. That's not who I am. That's not normal. It's not normal for you. I mean, it's like people always ask me, too. I mean, because of my wife's epilepsy, I had to get up with Tyler every single night when he was a newborn. I still do. But that's the normal. And many people said to me, I could never have done that. I mean, I don't have a neurological disorder. I don't have a handicap. I mean, I could never imagine if my husband wouldn't have got up those some nights and I took other nights to raise our kids and get up with them during toothaches and nightmares. I couldn't do it because that wasn't normal to them. And the thing is, people need to look at what is the normal to you. What is the norm that works well with that in education? Like I said, we don't always have to have wireless devices. Some of us, end up having desktop computers. Some of us have books that we traditionally use with a non-traditional teaching style, like here, What's Under My Cape by Barbara Gruner, where she actually takes a lot of traditional teaching, but she also looks into stuff that, most people wouldn't do. Some people will want to grade classes. Some people will just say, I want to use Google Classroom and I'm done. And that's not the normal for the classroom. The normal is what is right for your students. The normal is what is right for them. What is normal to them? Anything's going to be new. Anything is going to be different. Anything's going to be a learning curve. It doesn't matter if you have a kid who knows how to do Snapchat and play Kick or Mr. Jump all the time. Yeah, their normal is a mobile device, but they might not know how to use it for education or for learning and studies. And that's where you have to say this is the normal. And it is part of who you are. It is part of what it will be. And that's where you need to have them find their niche. What is that they're comfortable? What can they do? Mine is story creating. Maybe some aren't story creating. Some maybe are natural builders. Maybe some are able to completely learn online and can't do, hard book format. And maybe some just like to see, things done with their hands and completely in front of them using both technology or paper and crafts like an Ingenious Hour. The truth is the new normal is what is there. What is it that works for you? What is it that works for students? Don't fight what is it normal to you. Don't fight what is the change and everything. Is find what the new normal is that will work and have the end goal of being in education. It doesn't matter if you're a pre-K teacher. It doesn't matter if you're a college professor. What is the norm that is going to work for you and your students that you're not going to fight on, not constantly going to disagree with? Know that you're going to struggle, but know you're going to learn from it, and they are going to learn from it. If you find that normal, you will succeed.